So as the showdown over the headscarf continues, the PFI is holding a Save the Republic march in Rajasthan's Kota. This organization, remember, is already facing accusations of fueling the protests in Karnataka. Now, the Karnataka government specifically has made these charges and allegations against the PFI. Meanwhile, BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla took to social media site Twitter and said, Congress is the leader of Tukde Tukde gang. He's also added that the PFI has been designated as a hate organization even by the National Investigative Agency, and the Grand Old Party has allowed this march in Congress-ruled Rajasthan. Shehzad Poonawalla, who's BJP spokesperson, has said the nation has already seen PFI-SDPI alliance in Karnataka. We also saw posters of PFI promoting the same march outside an Urdu school in Shivamoga in Karnataka yesterday. But only after the news was broadcast on India Today, the posters were immediately taken down by the school authorities. Remember, the poster for the rally and for march on 17th February was posted on the gate of a school in Shivamoga. You're looking at that visual, that green gate on which the PFI had put. After that, it was removed by the school authorities.
Despite a plethora of charges and a long list of extremist activities that the PFI has indulged in, the Congress party continues to provide patronage and legitimacy to the Popular Front of India. कांग्रेस का हाथ हमेशा टुकड़े टुकड़े करने वाले गैंग के साथ क्यों होता है? This is not the first time that the Congress party is legitimizing such elements.
मुसलमानों को किस तरीके से दबाया जा रहा है और हमारा जो हक हिजाब है इस्लाम में हमें इसका वो बताया गया है, उस पर हमारे पाबंदी लगाई गई है। हम इसमें इतना अपने आप को फ्रीडम मानते हैं अपने आप को, तो इसको दबाया जा रहा है और हम हर क्षेत्र में मुस्लिम हर क्षेत्र में आ गए। हिजाब को एक तरीके से ये माना जाता है कि ये इनको ना इस तरीके से रहेंगे तो ये काम कर कैसे पाएंगे। नहीं, अभी हिजाब में औरतें प्लेन तक चला रही है तो कितना कुछ कर पाती है, तो हम यानी बहुत सेफ्टी यानी अच्छा फील करते हैं हिजाब को लेके।
एक बुर्का पहनने से लेके खाने से लेके जो संवैधानिक अधिकार दिए गए हैं लोगों को, वो तमाम अधिकारों का जो सरकार हनन कर रही है, वो अपने पॉलिटिकली मिसयूज कर रही है उसका अपने पावर का, उसके खिलाफ इस लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए।
Meanwhile, the Karnataka High Court will resume the hearing on this controversy at 2:30 p.m. It's already been going on for a while now, from a single bench to a three-bench now. Amid the showdown, however, it is up to now, remember, the situation of the students. These students wearing the headscarf from different colleges of Shivamoga have now staged a dharna outside the Deputy Commissioner office. These students are demanding entry into the classes with the headscarf, specifically if they were already being allowed earlier as well in their respective colleges. All of this, remember, is while Class 12th practical exams had to be postponed amid these protests and counter-protests. On Wednesday, there were some colleges that had opened across Karnataka, but despite High Court's interim order, the standoff continues between students, parents and college authorities that is being witnessed in several districts. In yesterday's hearing, just giving you a background, petitioners argued that the display of religion through attire shows diversity, and to single out only the hijab or the headscarf violates fundamental rights. Prohibitory orders, meanwhile, remain intact, which is Section 144, across educational institutions in Karnataka. The government has imposed Section 144 mainly to ensure that law and order is maintained. The fallout of the protests, however, has now rippled out in other states. In neighbouring Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada, women were denied entry into the colleges in the full body veil, which is the burqa, citing the dress code norms now.
This is the office of the Deputy Commissioner. So these students are basically sitting on the steps right over here. Few of their representatives have actually written a memorandum in order to submit to the Deputy Commissioner. In the memorandum, it's basically that they be allowed inside because their exams are coming up. For pre-university, especially those who are in their final year pre-university, exams start on the 16th of April. Mathematics is their first paper. For those in degree, basically they're saying that allow them to enter. So what we have noticed in the morning at the DVS college when I went to Uttar Pradesh college, in fact the authorities did allow the girls to wear a hijab and enter. So they're saying if we were allowed to enter earlier, why are we not allowed now? That is one. For those colleges that did not allow earlier, now the girls, the students are saying that we have to enter with our hijab because it's an essential religious practice, or ERP. So that is the issue which is going on over here.
All the Muslim girls are standing outside the college to requesting that we want to go to the classroom with hijab. But the principal is not allowing us to go inside the class. These all are the political games, sir. Before 10 days, all the students who are sitting, protesting outside the college wearing the orange color shawls are sitting in the class today. But we are not allowing to go to the college.
Suddenly, this situation, why are you coming? I don't know, sir.
So when you went inside over there now, I see a lot of the students, your friends are all standing and talking to the authorities. What's the conversation?
Sir, my friends is telling, what is this? So I am very problem, sir. Because 2 years is going to Corona.
Okay.
Sir, suddenly is coming to hijab problem. What are you doing to me? ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಕ್ಕು ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಸರ್? 4 ಇಂಚಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ದು ಕೊರೋನಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6 ಅಡಿ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ? I want education also, hijab also.
So what is the current status on the ground? I'm joined by Nabila Jamal. She's been talking to scores of students and also authorities, and also Mustafa Sheikh, who's also been on ground speaking to different sides. Nabila, politics aside, court hearing aside, eventually it is about the future of these girls as well, specifically those who were also earlier being allowed in their respective colleges, and with exams coming in, this is complete chaos for them.
So unfortunate to see scenes where you have a number of Muslim girls wearing the hijab who have been wearing it all their life have now been stopped at the gates of their colleges and schools. So it's almost like they're being turned away by their own managements, their own school teachers, their principals who earlier had great equations with them. And that's why we see these girls breaking down, they're crying standing outside. And like you rightly said, Pooja, let's leave politics aside for a moment and look at this glaring disparity that we see of these young Muslim girls who for no fault of theirs are being subjected to this kind of discrimination right by their college authorities. And if you really look at
if there were some colleges that were allowing, Nabila,
we can't really blame them
why
entirely because they're also worried.
Yes.
The colleges are really worried that they don't want to defy the court's verdict. They don't want to defy the court's interim order. But what here the confusion lies is that some of the colleges that were allowing can continue to allow. It seems like that direction has not gone from the Karnataka government as yet, that there is confusion over this High Court verdict. Verdict only says those colleges and schools which had preset guidelines, not those who were earlier allowing. Let's try to clear that confusion only so that these girls and their students' lives is not put at risk.
All right, so there are protests breaking out even outside the Deputy Commissioner's office in Karnataka. Please stay on with me, Nabila, because I'm now joined by Mustafa Sheikh as well. Mustafa, you've also been talking to students, parents, and getting voices from the ground. What is the ground situation like? Section 144 still imposed outside educational institutions so that massive violence or protests should not break out?
Well, yes, Pooja, and that's a big concern because even when Section 144 has been imposed in various parts of Karnataka around the educational institutions, the visuals which are coming out from Karnataka in various parts of Karnataka are concerning because we are seeing that there are students, even parents, they are gathering, they are having a discussion, sometimes arguments about students not being allowed inside the classroom. Because today whatever the protests are happening are regarding hijab not being allowed inside the classroom because till yesterday there was no clarity, but now we know that institutions are allowing students to wear hijab, enter the campus premises and then remove it. But the concern is because last week we have seen that protests had broken out in Karnataka at various institutions, education institutions. So for 3 to 4 days the government was very much in control of the law and order situation, but the visuals which are emerging from different districts of Karnataka, be it Shimoga and other places, Belgavi also, we heard the protests which are taking place, and there are students or their parents or the relatives getting into arguments with the police. So these are concerning visuals even when Section 144 is imposed. This is the situation. If the court order, the final order doesn't come in few days and the colleges remain and school remain to be open and operational.
So time is of essence, as our reporters on the ground are telling us. So what are the politicians saying? Listen into now these political reactions that have come in on this story. Take a look.
हिंदू इतना श्रेष्ठ इतना उच्च विचारधारा का, इतना संस्कारित होता है कि हमें कहीं भी हिजाब पहनने की जरूरत नहीं है ना? हाँ, हिजाब उनको पहनना है जिनको अपने घर में ही परेशानी है, उनके घर में ही वो संकट में है, उनके घर में ही वो खतरे में है, उनके घर में ही उनकी शील और मर्यादा खतरे में है। इसलिए उनको घर में भी हिजाब पहनना चाहिए और बाहर तो हिंदू समाज जहाँ निकलता है तो वहाँ पहनने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। और जहाँ ज्ञान प्राप्त होता है, जहाँ हम अध्ययन करते हैं, वहाँ तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है।
हिजाब एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट में जाए ऐसा तो बात ही नहीं हो सकता है, इसलिए नबी जी ने बता के गया है कि आप साइना में भी जाओ पढ़ने के लिए, मतलब आप साइना का कानून का हिसाब से चलो या परदेश विदेश का कानून का हिसाब से चलो, बट फिर भी आप शिक्षा ले लो, बिकॉज एक मुसलमान का सबसे बड़ा काम है शिक्षा। अभी लोगों का ये पूरा माहौल बना दिया कि शिक्षा से इम्पोर्टेंट हिजाब है।
इस्लाम मुझे सीखना है तो मैं किसी इस्लामिक उलेमा से, स्कॉलर से सीखूंगा ना, मैं इन लोगों से तो इस्लाम नहीं सीखूंगा। हम इनसे ये कह रहे हैं कि आप संविधान में जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स जो दिए गए हैं भारत के हर नागरिक को, उसको आप दीजिए। और ये जो कर्नाटक में हिजाब का जो इशू खड़ा हुआ, वो बीजेपी ने उसको खड़ा किया है।
अलग अलग मजहब के लोग रहते हैं, अलग अलग लिबास पहनते हैं, अलग अलग खाने खाते हैं, मगर बीजेपी का ये जो एक नया गोडसे का हिंदुस्तान बना चाहते हैं, जहां पर वो कहते हैं एक जैसे कपड़े पहनो, सर पे टोपी मत लगाओ, हिजाब मत करो, मीट मत खाओ, ये खाओ वो खाओ, तो ये जबान बोलो, खाली एक ही जबान बोलो, ये तो हिंदुस्तान नहीं है, ये तो गांधी का हिंदुस्तान नहीं है। और मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है आखिरकार इस मुल्क के लोग जाग जाएंगे और इस गांधी के हिंदुस्तान को गोडसे का हिंदुस्तान बनने नहीं देंगे। ये जो हिजाब की बात है, इसमें ये भी एक साजिश है कि हमारी बच्चियों को तालीम से दूर रखने की कोशिश की जा रही है, मगर मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हमारी बच्चियाँ बड़ी अक्लमंद है, बड़ी बहादुर है, वो अपनी तालीम का नुकसान नहीं होने देंगी।
कौन क्या पहनेगा क्या नहीं पहनेगा, इसका फैसला बीजेपी नहीं कर सकती है। अगर कोई लड़की हिजाब पहनती है तो ये उसका हक है, और पूरी दुनिया में इसकी बदनामगी हो रही है। OIC जो मुस्लिम कंट्रीज़ का संगठन है, उसने सख्ती के साथ इसको कंडम किया है और यूनाइटेड नेशंस को लिखा है। मुझे नहीं मालूम कि प्रधानमंत्री क्यों खामोश तमाशाई बने हुए हैं। एक तरफ वो भारत की इज्जत की बात करते हैं, यहाँ पे भारत की इज्जत के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है।
So this hijab protest started from one classroom, one school in Karnataka, but it has now spread across India. The controversy has now taken center stage in the state of war, election-bound Uttar Pradesh also. Speaking exclusively to India Today, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said, while everyone is free to wear what they want, uniform regulations of organizations need to be followed. Yogi Adityanath has said that hijab is being imposed on young girls, is what Yogi Adityanath says. Now, he's also slammed Asaduddin Owaisi for his comment that a hijab-wearing girl will soon become the Prime Minister of India. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister is asking the AIMM chief if he wants to Talibanize India now, and that he should hold these debates on the headscarf in Afghanistan.
व्यक्तिगत पहनावा व्यक्ति के व्यक्तिगत घर तक, बाजार तक और उसके व्यक्तिगत कार्यों तक सीमित हो सकता है।
हम सब तो सार्वजनिक जीवन में पहन रहे हैं ना सर, आप भी पहन।
मैं क्या करूं, मैं पहन रहा हूं, मेरा लिबास है, लेकिन मैं उसको अपने कार्यालय पे थोपता नहीं हूं। क्या मैं अपने कार्यालय में सबको बोलूं कि आप भगवा पहन के आओ? क्या मैं पार्टी में सबको बोल दूंगा? नहीं बोल सकता। हर एक को स्वतंत्रता होनी चाहिए, और संस्था है तो संस्था का अपना अनुशासन होना चाहिए। क्या कोई हमारा पुलिस कर्मी बोलेगा कि साहब मैं तो जो है इस जाति का हूं, मैं इस मजहब का मानने वाला हूं, मैं क्यों पहनूंगा यूनिफॉर्म? तो चल गई फोर्स। फिर तो अनुशासन से संस्थाएं चलती हैं, देश संविधान से चलता है, शरीयत से नहीं चलता है। हमें ये समझना होगा। बेटियों के स्वावलंबन की बात करना अच्छी बात है, महिलाओं के प्रति सम्मान का भाव व्यक्त करना अच्छी बात है, लेकिन उनको उतनी स्वतंत्रता भी दी जानी चाहिए। 3 तलाक के खिलाफ जो कानून भारत के अंदर बना है, इनको उसका समर्थन करना चाहिए, और बेटियां हर एक फील्ड में जाएं, आगे बढ़े। हम भी चाहते हैं हम लोगों ने इस प्रकार के अवसर दिए भी हैं, लेकिन इसके मार्ग में सबसे बड़ी बाधा इस देश का वह कठमुल्लापन है जिसका समर्थन ओवैसी जैसे लोग करते हैं।
क्या है कठमुल्लापन?
यही है
अब सर
जो आधी आबादी को
शिमोगा, मांड्या, बच्चियों को पेरेंट्स घर से वापस स्कूल से वापस ले जा रहे हैं क्योंकि वो कह रहे हैं कि हिजाब नहीं तो एग्जाम नहीं, ठीक है हम ले जा रहे हैं वापस। तो ये नुकसान किस?
मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ कि क्या इन बेटियों को स्वाधीनता के साथ जीने और आधी आबादी को आप उनके अधिकारों से वंचित कर देंगे? क्या आप तालिबानीकरण करना चाहते हैं पूरे देश का? और आपको अगर इन सब चीजों के बारे में चर्चा करनी है, क्यों नहीं आप जो है अफगानिस्तान में आवाज उठाते हैं? बोलो ना वहां पे भी। ये तो प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से एक प्रकार की तालिबानीकरण का समर्थन करना है और ये नहीं स्वीकार हो सकता है।
So what did Asaduddin Owaisi say that has drawn such a sharp response from the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister? Listen in to what Owaisi said just a few days ago at a rally.
और हम अपनी बेटियों को इंशाअल्लाह ताला अगर वो ये फैसला करती है कि अब्बा अम्मी मैं हिजाब पहनूंगी, तो अब्बा अम्मी पहने बोलेंगे बेटा पहन, तुझे कौन रोकता, हम देखेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। हिजाब निकाब पहनेंगे, कॉलेज को जाएंगे, डॉक्टर भी बनेंगे, और एक दिन याद रखना तुम कांड की जनता, शायद मैं जिंदा नहीं रहूंगा, तुम देखना एक दिन इस देश की प्रधानमंत्री एक बच्ची हिजाब पहन के प्रधानमंत्री बनेगी।
So not just the schools, streets or the court, the political showdown is also now being witnessed inside and outside the Karnataka Assembly over a BJP minister's saffron flag remark. The Karnataka Youth Congress workers staging protests in Shivamoga with workers ghirawing the BJP office today morning. Many of the protesters were detained by the cops during the protests as well. The Congress is upping the ante in assembly. Protests rocked the assembly for a second day as Congress netas demanding the sacking of Ishwarappa. The BJP has said and remaining defiant, with Ishwarappa also refusing to apologize. They've now upped the ante against DK Shivakumar of the Congress party. So what happened? Minister Ishwarappa raked up the flag controversy in Shivamoga, where Karnataka Congress chief DK Shivakumar had claimed, remember, that tricolour, he said, was replaced by the saffron flag. Ishwarappa is now demanding action against Shivakumar and a case to be registered against the Congress neta for lying.
सर राष्ट्रध्वज को अपमान किया डीके शिवकुमार, अभी राष्ट्रध्वज काम किया है और कर्नाटक राज्य विधानसभा में धरना के समय में राष्ट्रध्वज को लेकर धरना किया है, वो भी राष्ट्रध्वज को अपमान किया है, इसलिए उनको एक्शन लेना है। ऐसा मैं
केस करना चाहिए,
उनके ऊपर केस डालना है।
The BJP minister is a thug. Place of a tricolor, our national flag, you want to place a Kesari flag, which is against the law of this country. And the minister himself is admitting what he said, but still the governor has not sacked him, the chief minister has not sacked him, a case of sedition has not been booked. So we are demanding he has to resign immediately. Overnight we will sleep in assembly itself, all night, day we will sleep and we will protest.
Congress party already sleep. Last 10 years they are sleeping already. What is the special there? Very good. Congratulations to Congress. Sleep. This is insult. They are insulted the national flag. They have to book the criminal case against them. Then only Congress will understand the law.
They have clearly brought out the national flag inside the house and used it for their own party protest. It is, in fact, they have violated the flag code, and they should be punished. As a political party, they have every right to undertake any kind of agitation, and they are doing it, though it is without any valid reason. The people of Karnataka are seeing it, and they would get the fitting reply from the people.
Now, after the pandemonium that took place on the floor of the assembly on Wednesday between Minister Ishwarappa and DK Shivkumar, KPCC President, Youth Congress supporters and members over here started to protest right near the BJP office. Now, the police over here placed barricades and are now currently detaining them. They're finding it difficult, in fact, to actually put them all inside this particular police truck but they have come here to protest after what really happened. Now, for those who have actually not seen what took place in the assembly, DK Shivkumar and also Ishwarappa almost came to blows or fisticuffs during a heated argument, a discussion that took place in the assembly. As of now, the Congress is demanding that the governor and the chief minister sack Minister Ishwarappa for his remarks on the saffron flag. They claim that he has disrespected the tricolour, the national flag, and that the government also book a case of sedition against the minister. With video journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today in Shivamoga.